It's time for America Outdoors Radio, the show that covers the outdoor scene across the U.S. of A. and the entire continent. Fishing, hunting, conservation, outdoor recreation, and great destinations. We cover it all every week. It's your country, your outdoors. Let's explore it together with your host, John Kruse.
Welcome to this week's show. It is definitely show season. Sportsman shows are going on all over the United States this winter. I just got back last week from the Washington Sportsman Show. The biggest show in Washington State took place at the State Fair Events Center in Puyallup. Next week, I am going to be at the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show. This is a huge show. It's billed as the biggest show west of the Mississippi, and it's also known as the second biggest sportsman show in the entire nation. It boasts 800 exhibitors. That is a lot of exhibitors. There's a lot to see at the Expo Center at the north end of Portland, Oregon, and plan on the whole day. It's going to take you that long to get through it. This week on the show, we've got more audio for you recorded at SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. In just a minute, you're going to hear from Byron Griffith. He's with Bridgford Foods. Now, they are best known for their jerky, and they make some really good jerky you can buy in stores all over America. They also support Bass Pros throughout the nation. Well, now, Bridgford Foods is coming out with something else. They've teamed up with the Army to have some shelf-life-friendly packaged food that tastes absolutely delicious, and you're actually finding them in MREs that the Army has for their troops. Byron Griffith with Bridgford Foods will tell you more about it. Speaking of sportsman shows, the biggest one in the nation is the Great American Outdoor Show. It's starting today. It runs through February 15th, and it takes place at the Farm Complex in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This one boasts over 1,000 sponsors. There's also music. There's some great concerts during some of the evenings of the show, and all sorts of events. Everything from the state championship for the Pennsylvania Lumberjacks to a Dock Dogs competition, and a whole lot more. John Bailey with the National Rifle Association, the organization that puts it on, will tell you more about it. Another SHOT Show guest we'll have today is Josh Warren. He's our friend from WorkSharp. They've got some brand new products coming out that you're going to want to hear about. And we'll wrap things up talking to Matt Kinnamore with Arcus Hunting. If you are a deer hunter, you're going to want to hear about the products they have that either mask your scent or provide those bucks something else to smell besides your scent. Fascinating stuff you're not going to want to miss towards the end of the show. Before we talk to Matt and John and Josh, though, let's go ahead and get our conversation started with our first guest of the day. Next up, we continue to find interesting people at SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, you tend to think of SHOT Show as shooting and hunting, but there's a lot of outdoorsy folks here, too. And there's some food folks here, too. One of them is Bridgford Foods. Now, Bridgford Foods, very well known for their jerky, but they have expanded into something brand new. With us here to tell you more about it is Byron Griffith. Byron, welcome to the show.
Thanks, John. Yeah, we have a line of shelf-stable food products. We have wraps, pizza, pastries, and sandwiches. They have a 3-year shelf life, and they're all tear open and eat. There's no heating required, but you can heat if you'd like. They're great either way. They're good for hunting, fishing, camping, any of your outdoor needs, as well as prepping and emergency preparedness.
Well, you know, you've got some samples out here, and I've got to tell you, the French toast was very tasty. What are some of the other flavors you have?
Our big hit is always our pepperoni pizza. I also like our cinnamon bun for a breakfast option, and we have some fruit turnovers that are great, too.
I see you've got some barbecue stuff and sweet and sour chicken, too.
Yep, those are also additional options. We have meat-filled sandwiches. The barbecue beef is kind of like a sloppy Joe with a sweet barbecue sauce.
And you've got Mexican-style beef filling. That looks interesting.
Yeah, that's our wraps. We have 2 options for our wraps. We have a Mexican-style beef. It's pretty much a taco. And we also have a barbecue pork wrap with a sweet barbecue sauce and shredded pork.
And for those that like Italian, again, you've got the pizza, but you've also got an Italian sausage with sauce. It's a sandwich.
We do. That one is a pocket sandwich with shredded pork, pepperoni, marinara, and a 3-cheese blend.
These don't require heating, and I like that. But if somebody did want to heat them, do they have the ability to do that?
They do. So it's heating optional. They taste great out of the pouch, but they taste even better warmed up. So we will be partnering soon with a company called Lava Gel and inserting their heaters into our products for a nice warm meal out in the field or on the go.
Nice. So kind of like what the Army does with their MREs.
Very similar. So lava gel is a new technology. It's a natural heater using just earth elements. So it's non-toxic and safe, so it's great to use if you have kids or anyone else that needs a little bit of assistance with their meal.
You know, I got to tell you, Bridgford, like I said, first and foremost, most people think jerky. And you find their jerky in stores all over America. How did you decide to branch into this category?
This came about in the mid to early 2000s. We were approached by the U.S. military for a new feeding solution for their MRE program. And Bridgford does jerky, meats, and frozen bread dough. So we had some of the background in bread dough and meat snacks products and kind of married them with a little bit of help from the Army to come up with a shelf-stable line of sandwiches, wraps, and pizza. So it was a mixture of a little bit of what we knew and some need from the military for their MRE program starting in the new millennium.
Have they incorporated the sandwiches into their MREs?
They have. A majority of them have been used at some point in the MRE program or the First Strike Ration program at one point. Currently, our pepperoni pizza is one of the menus in the MRE. And we have a few new feeding programs with the Army on the horizon that hopefully we'll have online in the next year or two.
I got to tell you, I was in the Army. I'm dating myself here, folks. When they went from canned C rations to MREs, and those first MREs, not real tasty. So I'm glad to see that they've come a long ways and they're incorporating what you have to offer, because what you have here is definitely tasty.
Yeah, they've come a long way. I get a lot of similar sentiment. People exactly like you that said, I was in back in the day, and man, they gave us sand and stale crackers and dust almost, and to have a fresh food option is an eye-opener for a lot of veterans that come up to our booth and sample our products.
So in terms of the sandwiches, wraps, and the pizza, I'm sure you can get it at bridgefordfoods.com?
Yes, you can. bridgefordfood.com, and go to the Shelf Stable tab. Anyone attending the SHOT Show can use code SHOT26 to receive 10% off. They're also available in retailers such as Bass Pro, Cabela's, and Menards.
All right. Well, definitely popular places to go shopping. So, again, Bass Pro, Menards, or Cabela's, good places to find these. Or, again, bridgefordfoods.com. Use the promo code SHOT26, and you'll get 10% off. Can't argue with that. Now, I know jerky's not your specialty, but jerky is kind of what Bridgford was founded on. And you've got a variety of different flavors of jerky out there.
Yeah, we have many different flavors, from original barbecue with the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. There's jalapeno now, peppered. There's sweet and spicy. That's my personal favorite. So there's a lot of variety for your jerky enthusiasts, which most people are.
That's true, and I'm one of them. And I've got to tell you, Bridgford has really teamed up with the professional bass circuit. So I fish the Bass Angler Magazine tour that's on the West Coast. And Bridgford is partnered with them, and every tournament you go to, there's going to be some Bridgford jerky available to all the competitors. And you've actually also sponsor some Bass Pros. I think one of the most famous ones you sponsor is a somewhat controversial but very popular YouTuber, Randy Blockett, who's a big name in the bass world and a big name with Bridgford.
Yes, we do. We sponsor a few fishermen on the PFL as well as the Bassmaster Tour. And you'll see the boats on the water, and you'll see them wearing their Bridgford jerseys out there when they're angling. It's been a great sponsorship, and everyone seems to love the jerky at the events.
Yeah, and I've got to ask, you may not know the answer to this. How did Bridgford decide to go into the bass tournament world?
Yeah, so our Chicago division, they have a few people there that are big anglers, and they're fans as well as fishermen themselves. So it seemed from personal interest, and just they thought the tour would be great visibility, and it has been a great sponsorship. So that's where they went for Bass Pro and PFL.
Well, there you go, folks. Bridgford Foods. They're offering not just sandwiches and wraps and pizza, but they're also offering jerky, and they're sponsoring Bass Pros all over America. If you want to find out more, go to bridgefordfoods.com and look for their products in stores all over the place, and look for the sandwiches and wraps at Menards and Cabela's and Bass Pro. Byron, thanks for sharing this with us today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, John. It was a pleasure talking with you.
You've heard me talk about WorkSharp tools and knife sharpeners, tool sharpeners, and kitchen cutlery sharpeners they have available. But don't take it from me. Take it from Steve Sparks. He's a listener of this show, and he wrote me to say, thanks for mentioning WorkSharp on your show. I picked up the guided field sharpener after hearing your recommendation, and it's been fantastic. I've never had such consistent success sharpening knives before. I even bought some old pocket knives back to life, including one with a damaged edge. The field sharpener got me hooked, so much so that I just ordered their professional precision adjust sharpener last night. Thanks again for the great program and for tuning me on to a tool that really works. If you want to order the guided field sharpener or the professional precision adjust sharpener or any of the other great products that WorkSharp Tools has, go to their website. That's worksharptools.com.
When you think of Henry Repeating Arms, you likely think of their American-made classic lever-action rifles and beautiful Golden Boy and Tribute Edition rifles. It doesn't stop there, though. Henry also has the Henry Long Ranger and lever-action Supreme models, as well as their big boy revolvers, the 9mm Homesteader carbine, and the venerable AR-7 survival rifle. Check out the entire line of Henry Repeating Arms firearms and find an authorized dealer near you at henryusa.com.
Come explore the Dalles in Oregon for outdoors fun. Hike amongst the wildflowers, bike our riverfront trail, or visit the Gorge Discovery Center where you can enjoy a live raptor display, or even check out our National Neon Sign Museum. But don't forget the fishing. We've got salmon, steelhead, bass, walleye, and monster-sized sturgeon waiting just for you. When the day is done, tell those tall tales at one of our wineries, breweries, or restaurants and plan your next adventure. Find out more at explorethedalles.com.
You're back in with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Kruse for the 15th at the Expo Center in Portland, Oregon. It's billed as the biggest show west of the Mississippi, but it's not the biggest show in the United States. No, that would be the Great American Outdoor Show. It's running February 7th through the 15th in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at the Farm Complex. It boasts over 1,000 exhibitors in 9 halls. It is a massive show, likely the biggest sportsman show in the entire world. With us here to tell you more about it is John Bailey with the National Rifle Association. That's the organization that puts on this show every year. John, welcome to the show.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, the show's incredible. It's a 9-day event, February 7 through 15. As you mentioned, over 1,000 exhibitors. We've got 350-plus outfitters and guides from all over the world. We've got 200-plus seminars and demos taking place throughout the entire show. There's literally something for everyone there. We've got special events going on like dock dogs and lumberjacks. We've got the PA lumberjacks there. We have, shooting simulators. We've got youth activities for the kids. We have 2 concerts this year. We've got Zach Williams playing Friday night. We've got Saturday night. We've got Tucker Wetmore and Larry Fleet playing on Saturday night. And it's an event for everyone. Tickets are on sale at greatamericanoutdoorshow.org. And like I said, it's just a family-friendly event that if you haven't checked it out, you got to come check it out because there's nothing like it in the world.
Let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into this. Let's start off with a concert, because every year you have some really high-end country music singers. So Zach Williams and Tucker Wetmore, both very well-known singers. I am guessing that the concerts are an extra cost in addition to the tickets.
Yeah, that's correct. Concerts are a separate ticket, and the prices are very reasonable. The concerts take place within the show, and they start in the evening right when the show closes, right around 7 o'clock. But they're priced as such that they're very affordable. And, yeah, we've had some big acts in the past. Riley Green played last year, and we sold out. Tucker Wetmore will sell out as well on Saturday night, and it's a venue of about 7,000. Again, they're on the website and easy to purchase and very affordable and low ticketing fees like some concerts you go to.
Traditionally, you've had like a banquet and an auction at this show. Are you having that again this year?
We don't have a banquet or auction this year. We do have the Professional Media Association puts on an auction on the last Sunday every year. That'll be taking place. But outside of the concerts, it's the attractions that we have throughout the show. You know, we have the Eddie Eagle Kids Zone, which is fantastic for the kids and gets out Eddie Eagle's message that NRA delivers. And they're just like the seminars. We have all different categories. We've got seminar speakers that come from all over the world, and special guests like Seek One will be there, and Melissa Bachman and Roger Ragland, and some of the names household names that everyone knows.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the celebrities, and those are definitely some well-known ones. And if they're putting on seminars, those are going to be can't-miss events. Now, I'm guessing with 9 halls and all these different topics you're covering, it's not just one room for the seminars. I'm guessing you have several different venues where the seminars take place?
Yeah, that's correct. So we have some of the basic seminar rooms. We've got 3 seminar rooms that are over the McClay lobby, which is right outside the Outfitter Hall. Then we have a hog tank, which is a fishing tank where we run a lot of the interactive fishing seminars. We have a wild game cooking area where we're doing cooking seminars. Yeah, so they're really spread out across the entire show.
You know, I love the fact you're doing the cooking seminars because so many people are into that subject and really want to up their game. You know, and it's something, quite frankly, I've seen fading from a lot of shows. So I think it's fantastic that you're still doing that, and you've got a whole section dedicated to just that topic.
Yeah, no, it's super popular. We've got a great cast of folks that are coming out to support that area, and you can really, from soup to nuts, if you will, you can really learn all about cooking, from butchering and preparing all the way to cooking and serving. And it's really just a lot of people, sometimes don't exactly know how they should handle cooking wild game, and this really takes the guesswork out of it.
Let's talk about the Pennsylvania Lumberjack Championship. What is that all about?
Yeah, so that's one of the most favorite attractions in the show. That actually runs, that and the Dock Dogs competition run from the first Saturday through Wednesday, and they run in the floor of the large arena, which then we convert over for the concert once everyone's finished in there. But the PA Lumberjacks is incredible. They actually local in PA there, but they bring in some national names and compete right there on the floor. And one of my favorites is the hot saw competition. And literally, you can hear them crank up those hot saws from halfway across the show. So it's as soon as you hear that, they're getting ready to start.
That sounds like all sorts of fun. And again, the Dock Dogs competition, how many dogs, give or take, participate every year?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. I don't know the exact number, but we've been doing that event for many years, and we're now what we call a qualifier event for the Dock Dogs organization. So it draws people really from all over the world to compete because they, if they provides qualifying points for their final event, their annual kind of Super Bowl, if you will. And so it's the caliber of dogs that we've got going in there is really, really strong right now.
You mentioned you've got about 350 plus outfitters, lodges, that sort of thing. But I'm guessing you've also got RVs and fishing boats and some other things like that.
Yeah, it's really everything hunting, fishing, in the outdoors that you could think of. So we have one hall dedicated just to the shooting sports. We have a hall dedicated to boats and RVs. We've got outdoor lifestyle hall. We've got a products hall. I mentioned obviously the exhibitors and the outfitters, and that's one hall dedicated just to hunting outfitters. We've got a hall dedicated to fishing. We've got an archery hall, and we'll also be doing several archery competitions in the archery hall, which you can sign up for now on our website. So it's just everything related to the outdoors is under one roof at the Great American Outdoor Show.
In the West, you don't see a whole lot of firearms manufacturers, but you being the National Rifle Association, I'm guessing you are bringing some firearms manufacturers to this show?
Yeah, that's correct. We have several of the large brands in the firearm manufacturing space displaying at the show, and they'll be there with their complement of all the firearms that they produce a lot of times. So as a consumer, you can't see that. You can't go into a gun shop or a gun store or a gun show and see all of those firearms under one roof. But here at the Great American Outdoor Show, you can, and they're all for display, so you can pick them up, feel them, and work the action, and be able to see that gun before you want to go purchase it at a local retailer.
Love it. Absolutely love that. Anything else folks should know about the Great American Outdoor Show this year?
Yeah, I would say plan now. We've got free parking at the Harrisburg Mall. All the information's on the website, and, there's several events that I didn't even mention. We've got other music throughout the show. We've got pop-up concerts that take place in our small arena. So you really have to see it and witness it. And I will say this, when you walk in the front door, we've got maps right by the entrance. Just make sure you grab one of those, because it's a maze of everything hunting and fishing, and it's a large space with over 1 million square feet in the facility. Hope to see you there.
It's the biggest show in America, folks. It's the Great American Outdoor Show. It's taking place February 7th through the 15th at the Farm Complex in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Don't miss out. It's a big, big show, and there's a lot to see there. The website to go to find out more, greatamericanoutdoorshow.org. That's greatamericanoutdoorshow.org. John, hope you have a great show.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing everyone there.
This portion of the show is brought to you by our friends at Henry Repeating Arms, and they've got something brand new out. It is the Lever Action Supreme Rifle, and it takes lever action rifles to a whole new level. They have completely reinvented the lever action rifle here. For example, it actually comes with either a 5-round magazine to comply with certain state laws, or an AR-style magazine that will hold a whole bunch more ammunition. There's brand new, innovative iron sights, and it's also really easy to put a red dot or compact scope on top of it, too. It's lightweight, and it comes in 223, 5.56, and 300 blackout calibers, with more to come. You can find out more about the Lever Action Supreme Rifle from Henry Repeating Arms, made right here in America, by going to henryusa.com. That's henryusa.com. Check out the Lever Action Supreme and look for a dealer near you. You're back in with America Outdoors Radio. We continue to broadcast from SHOT Show, the Shooting Hunting Outdoor Trade Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we've got our old friend Josh Warren with us with WorkSharp. Josh, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, John. Happy to be here.
So, Josh, I want to start off with something I've never asked you before. WorkSharp, very well-known company in terms of knife and tool sharpeners. You're based in Ashland, Oregon, a fairly small town in southwest Oregon that's mainly known for its Shakespeare festivals. How did your company end up there?
Yeah, WorkSharp has a long history, actually going back. We're 53 years old, and it's a fourth-generation family-owned business that started in Beecher, Illinois. So great-great-grandfather Bernard, founder of what at the time was the Bernard Welding Company, was the inventor of what we now know as TIG welding. Eventually, that morphed into welding machinery and supplies, and it turned into what was for a long time the core of our business, known as Derex, which was industrial end mill and bit sharpeners. Our customers were people like auto and aerospace manufacturers, and the machines ranged from $3,000 to $30,000 for one of these machines. Around the late 80s, I'm going to ballpark it, we'll call it the 80s, the great-great-grandfather Bernard just set out, and we were doing some reconnaissance across the country for certain markets, but also looking for potential places to move the business to that needed to be college towns, that needed to have certain numbers of population and an airport. And so originally, sights were kind of set on Eugene, Oregon, and as things ended up settling out, there was a trip taken down to Ashland where they really fell in love with the place and decided to put down some roots. And so about the late 80s, that's where we moved to. We bought a piece of property there that I believe is still the same facility that we're operating out of. It's been renovated and added on to a couple of times. We rent additional warehouse space and manufacturing space in other parts of town. But now Ashland has been home for many, many years, and WorkSharp is a staple in the community there.
How many people does WorkSharp employ?
We have about 110 people in Ashland, and we have a couple of employees who work around the world, primarily a couple in Asia, who are boots on the ground quality control and development for us, so that we are not owning the entire supply chain, but we have very good quality control measures in place from the source for where we get some of our parts.
All right. Well, now we know why WorkSharp is in Ashland. Let's move on to SHOT Show. Now, at SHOT Show, all these companies here are rolling out new things, and you are rolling out a couple new things that are coming to retail stores. Now, one of them is the folding knife sharpener. We've talked about this before, and it's only been available online at WorkSharpTools.com, but now it's coming into retail stores. Describe the folding knife sharpener, which was much smaller than I expected.
Yeah, the folding knife sharpener is the size of a medium-sized pocket knife, probably. Includes a pocket clip so it fits in your pocket or in the molly strapping of your backpacks or duffels or wherever you have that. It has two abrasives, medium diamond stone and a fine ceramic, both with angle guides mounted right near the abrasive, so it gives you those training wheels to help you get your knife sharp. I'm going to guess it's a few ounces, maybe 6 to 8 ounces. It's fairly lightweight and a great companion. One thing I like about it in my pack is that it folds together, which seals the abrasives inside. So there's no exposed abrasives like you have with our guided field sharpener or the pocket sharpener, that the abrasives are on the outside, which tossing around in a pack is not necessarily the best thing.
Let's talk about the guided field sharpener, because you've expanded this, and it's coming into stores with a case and some additions. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about this?
Yeah, the guided field sharpener has been a long-time bestseller and my personal favorite product that we make. And so we've called it the Guided Field Sharpener Elite, which, if you know WorkSharp, we have a few products that have made that jump over the years. And so what we've done is we've added a zippered carry case and 2 additional diamond abrasives. So when you get that, you get the full suite from a coarse, medium, fine, extra fine, diamond. Really any sort of edge you want to put on your knife, you have full control. And then more longevity with more diamonds to use or spread out that wear across. Still comes with the same form factor, ceramic, the fish hook sharpener, the leather strop. All of that's there. And now you can put whatever edge you want on the knife wherever you want it.
Well, there you go, folks. 2 brand new items coming to sporting goods stores, hardware stores, and other stores near you. That is the Guided Field Sharpener Elite and the folding knife sharpener. So check those out. They are definitely heading to stores right now. Let's talk about some of your best sellers. So the Guided Field Sharpener, I'm guessing, is your best seller when it comes to just the manual knife sharpeners. Is that correct?
Yep. By unit numbers, the Guided Field Sharpener is our best sharpening system. And, from the business side, it's phenomenal. It continues to sell more and more units year after year, and it's 10 years old. It's a real staple for the WorkSharp line.
Well, I know it's definitely my favorite. I use it all the time. And folks, it is idiot-proof, and I'm proof of that. It works quite well. It's definitely going to put a great edge on your knife. Let's talk about your powered sharpeners. What is the most popular powered sharpener that you sell?
I think the fan favorite, I'll look at it, again, from the business side, either in dollars or in units, but I think it's safe to say the fan favorite is the Ken Onion Edition. I think several years ago it might have been our standard KTS or the knife and tool sharpener, and certainly is still a fan favorite. But as we've leaned into really teaching people about how to sharpen, that has brought people up into understanding some of the nuance of sharpening and has graduated most of our customers into wanting more of the features that the Ken Onion offers. More abrasive grits, more angle selections, the wider belts for a little bit faster sharpening, and speed control. So you can sharpen at very low speeds with high control, or you can crank it up and sharpen fast if you're sharpening big tools like a hatchet or an axe or a machete.
And that's the beauty of the Ken Onion. People think of WorkSharp and they think of knife sharpeners, but the Ken Onion Edition really is a great tool sharpener, isn't it?
It really is, and something I use it for frequently as frequently as needed is the mower blades or, some of the large tools. Man, I put an edge on a shovel the other day because I was digging a hole around a tree and was going to get through a bunch of tree roots, and really made the job a lot easier.
Let's move on to the kitchen, because you have a whole line of kitchen sharpeners, both manual and powered. What's the most popular one you sell?
Yeah, we sell a lot of, we call it our kitchen electric knife sharpener. It's a $60 item with abrasive discs and then a slot on the top that is a ceramic honing wheel, which is super easy to use. You power on, you draw through either side as the slots to establish the edge, and then there's a slot in the center on the top that's manual that you run the knife back and forth. So you actually pull, then push. And think of it like the traditional carbide pull through or ripper style sharpeners, but instead of ripping or shearing metal off, it's actually a skewed wheel that is rolling the burr off of the edge rather than shearing metal off the sides of the knife.
I've got the kitchen knife sharpener, use it all the time in my kitchen, but it's an older version. It doesn't have that slot on top. When did that come out?
That's been out for a few years now, but we do have another kitchen sharpener that does have the belts, which you may be referring to, which is it's called our professional electric knife sharpener, and is a little bit more of an elevated sharpening experience. It's got like an internal fan that acts as a vacuum to collect the dust particles to keep it off your countertop, the magnet in there to trap everything inside. And actually, the secret to that is a lot of the technology is in the abrasives, so we're able to both shape and sharpen and hone a knife with the same belt just by using speed is how we control that. So a lower speed is actually not removing nearly as much material, but only honing. As soon as you move that to high speed, the larger abrasive chunks in the belt are actually impacting that knife edge at a faster speed and removing some of that material rather than deflecting. So a lot of the technology is there in the abrasive, and then the form factor is really just built for a kitchen counter.
There you go, folks. Whether you are looking for a knife sharpener, a tool sharpener, or a sharpener for the kitchen, WorkSharp has it for you. You can find them in retail stores all over North America, sporting goods stores, hardware stores, other stores too. And you can find everything online at WorkSharpTools.com. That's WorkSharpTools.com. Josh, I hope SHOT Show continues to be successful for you. You've definitely had a lot of crowds at your booth, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, John. Glad to be here, and happy show season to everybody.
When you buy a sharpener from WorkSharp, you aren't purchasing a product, you're making a very good long-term investment. Whether you're buying a knife sharpener for the field, a knife and tool sharpener for the shop, or have a knife sharpener on the kitchen counter, you'll find they are durable and will do the job of sharpening your knives and tools for years to come. Make sharp happen with WorkSharp at a sporting goods store near you and at WorkSharpTools.com.
Modular. When it comes to getting the most out of your Camp Chef 2-burner propane stove, that's the word to use. Sure, you can cook directly over either burner with a pot or pan, but how about putting a grill box on to serve up burgers, steaks, or chicken? Put a griddle on to cook up your breakfast. Pizza? We've got that covered too with our pizza oven that you place right over the stove. Whatever you're cooking while camping or at home, Camp Chef has got you covered. Find out more about modular stove accessories at campchef.com today.
John Kruse here, looking to improve your bottom line as a business that caters to outdoors enthusiasts? You can do so for a very cost-effective price by advertising on America Outdoors Radio. I will tailor a marketing campaign for you, reaching hundreds of thousands of listeners every weekend tuning into our show on 135 stations in 33 states. We've got a sponsor opening right now, so contact me through my website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com and let's talk about helping you.
Explore the Dalles, the hub where discovery and history come together. Whether the Northwest is your home or you're on an adventure, the Dalles welcomes you. Just 80 miles east of Portland is the perfect year-round escape with a community that cares about you. 300 days of sun, breathtaking outdoor recreation, and a downtown full of the unexpected. Oh, and the rich history that began before the Oregon Trail. Start planning at explorethedalles.com.
There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven. You can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted, it works, it's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Next, we continue to broadcast from SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. All sorts of interesting products here, and we've run across some really interesting stuff from Arcus Hunting. With us here to tell you more is Matt Kinnamore. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, John. I'm excited to have you here at the SHOT Show booth.
So we're going to go through about 3 different things from 3 different companies. One of them is Dead Downwind, and you've got odor eliminator washer sheets. Now, I've got Downy washer sheets that I put in my dryer. I even have washer sheets for dogs that picks up some of the dog hair. But this is completely different. Tell me about these odor eliminating washer sheets.
Yeah, so everything in Dead Downwind, from our orange line to our black line, features our proprietary enzyme-based scent eliminators. So what it does, the chemical componentry of all of our stuff, it goes in and eats on the bacteria that are human skin and the odors, and then it naturally is scent-free and it eliminates those odors. So traditionally we've always had these jugged products where it's a 20 or 40 ounce liquid laundry detergent where there's a lot of water in those. They're heavy and sometimes they leak when we ship. So looking at some of the mass consumer markets, we see that these new laundry sheets that have fragrance are becoming popular because they're compact, they're very concentrated, and you can get 60 loads in a very small footprint compared to our traditional liquid jugs. So we took our chemical formula, our proprietary formula, mixed it into a concentrated form into the sheet. So it's all the great things that people love about Dead Downwind in a small, compact format.
Something else you have, and I'd never thought of this before, is a washing machine clean-out. Explain why this is important.
Yeah, so with traditional washing machines, the laundry detergents are water soluble, but they do slowly build up, and they're in the bottom of top loaders. They get in the gaskets and everything of front-loading washing machines. And if you have someone else in the house that uses a fragranced laundry detergent, there's remnants of that in the water when you're washing your clothing. So to truly be as scent-free as possible when you're going out into the hunting woods and you're trying to be scent-free in different hunting applications, we came out with the washing machine clean-out that it gets rid of all of those soluble remnant laundry detergents and cleans it completely before then washing your clothes with our laundry detergents.
So we've talked about detergents for clothing. Let's talk about, well, something you can use on yourself. You've got body wash and shampoo, you've got bar soap, and you even have a field spray, and they're all designed to eliminate odors, aren't they?
They are. We kind of call it our 3-phase system where we take care of you from laundry and then going into the hygiene category, washing your hair using the laundry or the detergents in the shower, and then with the antiperspirants, deodorants. And then as you go out into the 3rd phase, when you're out in the field, we have field sprays to spray on your clothing as an extra step from odors in your car or other things that will be eaten by our enzyme-based formula.
Bottom line, folks, odors are not your friend when it comes to big game hunting. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other products you have here. Now, this one to me is very interesting. It's called nose candy, and I've never heard of something like this before. Explain how it's used.
Yeah, olfactory is kind of like a cover scent. It's a little bit different from other Tinks products that are natural urine-based products and synthetic urine-based products. But we did a survey with over 7,000 respondents and seeing what they thought was the most natural smells that were out in the wild. Apple was number 1, and then slowly behind that was vanilla in. So we created a spray in a mist format that you spray around your deer stand, and what it does, it leaves this very strong apple odor, anise odor, or vanilla odor, and as the deer walks in, they smell it downwind. So then as they get closer to the concentrated spray, it overtakes their olfactory system, which clings to their nose hairs and allows them to smell nothing but the nose candy. So if you sprayed the apple, they smell apple. It's natural, so they're not deterred by it, because apples are very natural out there while you're hunting in the woods. But then it takes over all their senses where they can smell nothing but apple, hence covering your human odor that you might be putting out.
Perfect for bow hunters in particular.
Especially for bow hunters when you want that deer, elk, animal to get in really close to you.
Okay, let's move on to something else from Tinks. I have not heard of these products before. A scrape rope kit. Why don't you explain what this is and how it's used?
Scrape ropes are becoming very popular in whitetail hunting these days. Deer have traditionally used scrapes as a communication tool. They have licking branches, and lots of times you don't have that perfect licking branch where you need one in front of a tree stand. So the rope is a way for us to emulate where we want to scrape if we make a mock scrape. And we hang this hemp natural rope, and we provide in this kit specifically 6 foot of rope, so you can use it as one long rope. You can cut up into multiple pieces for multiple mock scrape locations. And then we include 4 ounces of our scrape starter and 4 ounces of our scrape finisher. So what you would do is use a branch, create a mock scrape, and put a few drips of starter early in the season, September in the pre-rut. And then as we move closer to the rut, you would then put drips of our finisher in that scrape because it includes the natural doe estrus in our 69. So it's a mixture of trophy buck and our doe estrus to emulate breeding deer or communicating and using that spot. You can put it on the rope, and it'll soak into the rope fibers, and then it'll also drip down to that scrape to get deer on camera and then get them closer to your stand.
You got something brand new this year from Tinks that's also a scrape rope, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, we're really excited about the Prime Scrape Rope. We have a large deer herd that we use to collect all of our deer urines and our natural products, and we thought of a way, how can we use these deer to help communicate to the deer on our farms? So we hang these ropes out in the collection facilities with our deer. They're naturally priming, rubbing on them with their pheromones and their scents for over a week, and then we take them down, we bag them up and seal them, and we ship them out into a lot of different retailers right now. And it's really cool because it's a finite amount. We can only make so many of them each year, so they go really fast. And last year we sold through them really great over the summer and going into that fall scrape hunting season.
So I'm guessing you did some field testing before you brought it on the market. How effective is this versus some of your other products?
It's extremely effective, especially compared to a regular rope like in our Power Scrape Rope kit, because it already has all those real deer smells. So when you hang it out, deer are going to smell it. They smell a lot better than humans. When you smell the rope, it doesn't smell much different. But they know, and in our field studies, it is night and day how many more big bucks we're getting on camera when we put the Prime Scrape Rope out compared to a regular rope.
Maybe a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Obviously, you're using this on white-tailed deer. Would this attract mule deer or black-tailed deer, or no?
I think it would. They still communicate in similar ways. They have scrapes and whatnot, depending on what your climate and what your structure or terrain looks like. If it's naturally to have something like a tree around where you could hang it, they definitely use that for communication tool.
All right, moving down to something else. You've got insect repellent. And lots of people have insect repellent, but one thing I've always noticed about insect repellent is that it smells. This doesn't smell, and again, it's from Dead Downwind.
Yes, so there's lots of different insect repellents out there in the market, but there's no one really catering to the hunter. As we look at data, the climate is getting warmer. Bugs and mosquitoes are moving farther north. They are all the way up into Canada, and Greenland has reported that it has the first mosquito ever in Greenland. Alpha-gal is a tick-borne illness where humans can't eat red meat. It's a blood disease, and sometimes it's for life. Sometimes people grow through it. Alpha-gal had the first death in New Jersey in September this year. So as things are growing, we want to be more conscious of it when we spend time out in the woods as hunters. So we created a line of permethrin. We have 12 ounce, 24 ounce, and a 76 ounce value pack. That's designed to spray on your clothing. You spray it on your clothing. Once it's dry, it's good and effective for up to 6 weeks or 6 washes. So it goes a really long way, but it kills mosquitoes, biting flies, ticks, chiggers on contact with your clothing. And then we also came out with the picaridin product, which is for spraying on your skin. So there's some people that don't like using chemicals like DEET. Picaridin is a proven performer where it's safe to use on your whole family, children. It is also scent-free, and it's safe on your gear where it doesn't eat plastics like the stock of your shotgun or your plastic backpack.
And you're right. I've used DEET, especially in the military, where it's like 99% DEET. And it does eat into stuff. You're absolutely right about that. Love the fact that it's scent-free as well. And folks, ticks, it's a big deal. Lyme disease is definitely on the rise. You don't want to catch that. It stays with you forever. So consider, from Dead Downwind, their Defend. It's their scent-free insect repellent. What are the websites folks should go to for Dead Downwind and for Tinks to get some of these products?
So deaddownwind.com. And then tinks.com, no apostrophe, TINKS.com. And Defend, permethrin and picaridin products will be on that deaddownwind.com.
All right, if you're a hunter, there's a lot here that you're going to be interested in. Matt, thanks so much for sharing this with us today. I appreciate it.
Thanks, John. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
And on that note, it's time to wrap things up for the week. I am going to be at the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland, Oregon. It's at the Expo Center running from the 11th, that's Wednesday, through the 15th, that's Sunday. Look for me in the Northwestern Outdoors radio booth. We're located near the fly casting pool in the big building. That's the first one you enter when you come into the show. Love to see you there. We're also going to be doing some giveaways from WorkSharp to include a chance to win a folding knife sharpener, brand new in retail stores, valued at $30. We gave away about 16 of them at the Washington Sportsman Show last week. If you didn't get to hear the whole show, you can listen as a podcast. Just look for America Outdoors Radio. And until next time, do be blessed, be healthy, and remember this: it is your country and your outdoors, so get out there and enjoy it.